is about to toss the ball up. Everything they've worked on in the pre-season, everything that they've looked at doing and implementing, about to get underway. Hardingham got the tap down, but North Melbourne through to Cosmo. Kick forward. They're going to the left of your screen. Already a quick clearance to Cosmo coming from Carlton. Running through there, Barber. Here's Elizabeth Jackson. Barber in the middle of it again, but tackled by Sarah Skinner.
Alana Barber, of course, making the move from Essendon, and someone I think who can really provide a spark to this North lineup, you know, across the midfield, across that high half-forward position, but it's a turnover.
Nicely done, and the short little kick is good there to Renee Solitis, who's going to have to go up the line. The kick eludes everybody. Sarah Skinner was almost there, going through Hardingham. Not sure how she got rid of that, but it's come off okay. The quick kick out from the Bulldogs only goes straight up in the air. Skinner, a little around the body kick towards forward 50. And was that a high tackle there against Nicole Hales? No. Ball in. Interesting start. Both of these teams finished 2023 in an interesting way. The Bulldogs lost their last 4. North Melbourne won 3 of their last 4 to go to an even ledger. And they'll forage the ball out. Madeline de Cosmo, one of those recruits for North Melbourne from Carlton. Running through Ashak. The kick inside the 50. It comes off. No, it doesn't. But now here's the captain, Carbone. The kick towards goal. It treacles through hands and over for a minor score.
Dom Carbone, they're very much up and about, and very much being a sort of explosive presence around the stoppages, and someone who can really hurt you, can really find the scoreboard. Such a talented player in her own right, so I'm looking forward to see what she can do this season especially. And
the Rebel Team of the Year in 2023, named at the awards night last year at Crown Palladium. She's up there with the elite of the elite, Dom Carbone.
Another name there you mentioned, Maddie de Cosmo, someone who is outstanding, and I would argue one of the best going around in this competition, one of the the best in her field. So there's someone who's a massive addition to this North lineup, that's for sure.
Hardingham doing nicely, getting through there. Dogs getting the handball forward, but nothing coming of it. And wrapped up there is Mara McSweeney. It's Talia Pulcino trying to push it forward, but the Bulldogs doing most of the attacking after the inaugural clearance went the way of North Melbourne. They burst through again here through Sheridan, and now the kick comes out over everybody's head. Running onto it will be Courtney Ugle. And sorry, that's Ugle there. It was Ashak that got the kick away. And Ugle running around her opponent, doing beautifully. Pack flew. It was Snow at the back. A couple of players dispossessed at the back there. Soccer forward from the Bulldogs. Hales can't pick it up. Now she can, but the pressure's frenetic from the Bulldogs. And nobody is getting out of that one. Another ball up. Umpire does things quickly. Hales got it out. Carbone in the bottom of that with Jen Guy. Bulldogs all the attacking so far. The experience certainly not on their side compared to what North Melbourne have, Katie.
That's pretty much for sure, you'd have to say, but I think Courtney Ugle is someone who, in that build-up of play, someone who is just so crucial, a premiership player in her own right, someone who's done this a very long time and is so wily. So I think she can be someone who generates that springboard, that rebound, that forward movement for the Dogs here. And I think she was crucial. She was crucial to that set-up play, working the ball down the wing here. And the Bulldogs have a shot on goal to show for it now.
Talia Pulcino with the free kick for too high. Can she put the first on the board? Tugs it across the face. It's going to drop. A quick kick away from Jess Jones, but is it into trouble? No, it's not. North Melbourne can forage forward, but the ball bounces at right angles like it so often does. Inside 50 now for the Bulldogs. Will they get a mark? It's punched away, and it is a free kick. That'll go the way of the North Melbourne captain against Imogen Milford. Another one of the Dogs recruits, former Blue, hasn't played since that faithful game against Box Hill last year, where Gabby Collingwood kicked the goal after the siren in her return from injury. Another kick inside the 50 from Bishop. Running through there, that's nice from Jamie Tabb. Pulcino, she's going to crumb. Can she put it through the middle? Across the face.
Talia Pulcino running hot early on, 4 touches to her name already and a clearance, so she's really just giving the Bulldogs a lot of drive up forward. North not doing too badly at the clearances, it must be said, 4-2 at the moment, but once the ball is getting outside and it's just the Dogs who are controlling territory and possession here, they might get a goal out of this.
Think they could. Carbone touched. My word.
Close.
Carbone and Pulcino, they've been the two so far. They are absolutely streaming through.
Can't allow them to dictate terms like that. You have to be on point with the way you're kicking out here. It's good to take the risk, to try to go up. But when you have someone like Carbone in the vein of form that she has been in for last season and bringing it into now, she's missing no steps here. But now, can the Kangaroos find something here? It's a good movement down the wing.
Barber to Jock overrunning it to Cosmo. She's been busy early, and now they can move it forward. The tap comes towards Xander. And that is a brilliant, brilliant tackle to keep it inside 50 there from Talia Meyer.
Good opportunity here now for North to just utilise that clearance momentum that they've generated to have it up their end and try to lock it in.
It's going to come out though, and the Western Bulldogs can run it forward. The kick will go towards the attacking 50. And running onto it there will be Solitis kicking forward. Everybody sort of fumbling around. This could be gone. Pulling it in there, Jess Jones. But the umpire will ball it up. Punched away. There is Solitis. Jackson kicks it away. The Bulldogs can forage forward again. It's a nice looking kick there. And it's been touched. Almost Ellie Bishop. But another one touched on the goal line. And the Bulldogs, they're pressing. They're prodding. But they can't break through yet.
Just need that end product, don't they? They just need that final ball in to put this to really get themselves on the board here and to really generate that extra goal. But this is good momentum from them. Once the ball gets out of those clearances, once it gets out of the clinches, they're the ones who are inevitably looking the better on this end. But North have to hang in here. They can't allow themselves to fall behind early here, because I think it's the way that the Bulldogs is setting up here. I think they're going to be hard to catch if they get too far ahead.
Last time they met, the Bulldogs won by a fair mile. Jamie Henry kicks towards the square, and they'll pay that in front. And it was Elizabeth Jackson that took it first. The last time that they met was last year, the Dogs winning 54-15, so 39-point win. But the mark has been taken. The intercept here, Sarah Skinner. This might be the second last kick. I think she's going to look for another option. Goes right to the teeth of goal. Spills to ground. And as they try to barge their way through, it's not going anywhere. Jamie Tabb was at the bottom of all of that. Umpire quick to get it up into the air. There are a pack of players around it. So the Bulldogs again just keeping it inside forward 50. Katie, we'll get the stats soon from inside 50 so far. What is it?
10-2 in favour of the home side.
Wow.
Tells the story, doesn't it? Just this is being played on the Bulldogs' terms on their home turf.
Cowan tried to get the handball out to Rhodes, but Another repeat stoppage inside forward 50 for the Western Bulldogs. At their spiritual home here, Whitten Oval. Might have been on the full there, or a free kick paid. And North Melbourne can run it out through Hales. But again, this Western Bulldogs spread has been really good, but the kick not so much from North Melbourne. And the Bulldogs, if they can pounce onto it, they can't. De Jock, look at her go. She's quick, she's exciting. She kicks towards forward 50 and the race is on. But the ball finds the line before anybody can get there. She's an excitement machine, isn't he, Nycote De Jock?
Affectionately known as Nike, and showing off a clean pair of heels there, that's for sure. That Collingwood connection showing up in big way. Different stripes, but nevertheless the same vein of form and same level of dynamism, you'd have to say, from Hales and De Jock there. Brilliant bit of play, but North have to make something of it here now.
Yeah, we know she likes to take the game on. Her highlight reel, De Jock, is one that you just envy. Diving on top of it there was Rhodes. And below the knees contact there. Interesting decision. This Rebel VFLW. Of course, if you do love your VFL and VFLW, you can get to the State of Play podcast with Joe Pignataro and Gemma Bastiani. They're going to be back in 2024. They are going from strength to strength. One of the best podcasts going around. Wherever you get your podcasts from, you'll find them. The kick there from Carbone, not great. The second kick, also not great. As Audrey Rhodes takes the intercept mark. She's been busy in the last couple of minutes. The kick is sensational. Found the root. And the kick towards Zander is okay. And the first goal, Matilda Zander, thanks to a great marking kick from Felicity Theodore. And after all the attacking, all of the dominance, the Bulldogs, they're still 0-4-4, and North Melbourne get the first of the afternoon.
Absolutely. So Audrey Rhodes, just good exemplary presence of mind there, just to make that turnover and to get North forward there. Tilly Zander, of course, is making no mistake there from range, and that's against the run of play, I think you'd have to say, Val, that's for
Massively.
Sure.
But it was just good forward craft. She didn't take the mark, sort of just misread the drop zone of the ball a little bit, but she understood that she had to keep goal side and keep her body upright, and she did beautifully. First goal of the day to Matilda Zander on her club debut. That's a nice way to be indoctrinated into this shin boner spirit that is North Melbourne. Also played in the grand final last year. And Barber, who's also been busy early, trying to bust through the pack there. North Melbourne. Ugle overruns it. Came out a soccer forward from Rhodes. Here's Zander again. Can she run onto it? She won't be first there. Paterno was. The ball does spill out the back. Zander down there. Well, if they paid the below the knees before, they have to pay that, and the umpire does oblige in the end. So North Melbourne now starting to get a couple of repeat entries here. Katie?
Absolutely, that they are. So I think they've picked up the last couple of inside 50s now, up to 5. The last 3 have gone their way.
How was the way Renee Tierney was trying to affect the pack there and just barge her way through?
100%. Such a quality player, such a crucial link for Essendon in recent seasons, just as that crucial half-forward link, that presence, has a great mark. She really can provide a focal point for North Melbourne, and she's going to be tough competitor to play against, that's for sure.
Hosking got it inside the 50. The kick forward by Meyer, almost taken by Zander. Ducks through one. She can't get it through, and it does treacle over the line. So that'll be a rush behind. Or are they paying the free kick? They are paying the free kick for holding the ball. Or deliberate.
Just numbers going back there with the Dogs, just getting back into a pack and just not allowing North that crucial final kick there. But they need to be careful here.
Tierney can't take the mark. Was very close to doing so. Running through there was Theodore. And this should be a goal. And it is a goal. And it is Audrey Rhodes. She set up the last one with some brilliant tactics. And she's kicked their second. And after really struggling early with the Dogs doing all of the attacking. North Melbourne have come from nowhere and kicked the next two.
They've come up and laid that counter punch, haven't they? North, that's their fourth inside 50 in a row. And they've just pressed and pressed and pressed and just haven't allowed the Dogs to get outside the way that they've liked it there. Tierney just in her repeat efforts, being switched on, getting herself into those positions to affect the turnovers, to affect the play. And that just is just those things, just that presence. You need to be switched on, and you need to be aggressive. And as that defending that far up in your area, you need to have a presence there. And North have done that, and they've made it count in a big way.
Just on 4.5 minutes to go in this opening term. And North Melbourne just utilising that experience, weathering the storm. The punch forward is good. Guy almost got it out towards Barber, but the Bulldogs' ferocity make sure that it goes nowhere. They were out then. Had that been clean there for North Melbourne, that could have almost been a third one. And the Bulldogs, all they want to do now is just get that little steadier. High tackle. Go to Hardingham. Against Kate Reynolds. Hardingham finds Taylor at half back. Taylor's kick, not great. Almost came out okay. Theodore gets it out to Meyer. Meyer's kick was a bit of a shank to Juk. She's explosive. And we're playing on. Rhodes was looking for Reynolds. And it just goes over for a rush behind. If that kick to Reynolds had have been just that little bit better, they might have been having the shot, but they are doing all the attacking now, North Melbourne. And how good was that rundown tackle from Nycote Dajuk?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just electric stuff from her, 100%. I think just these skill errors, just these decision makings, just his execution is not quite coming off for the Dogs, and they put themselves under pressure a few times just in going to a 1-on-2 situation there on the wing. It's recipe for absolute disaster, especially when North have their tails up and they know they can get you and they know they're in a good position. Who would have thought that the Dogs will be looking forward to the break?
I know.
Considering how this started, great turnaround here, and it's going to be Ling to take it on. Need to be switched on here, the Dogs.
Ling to the teeth of goal! And it has bounced all the way through. Amanda Ling in her North Melbourne debut against her former side. She's played 2 AFLW games for the Bulldogs. And well, she's also endearing herself to her new side. That is sensational. And everybody just sort of missing the drop zone there, but the beneficiary, Amanda Ling, North Melbourne, have their third. And it's a 15-point buffer already.
A quality performer, Amanda Ling, on her day. She was obviously taken with the Bulldogs' first selection in the AFLW draft at pick number 22 in 2021. So she has that level. We know what her pedigree is. She has the capability. She's inside midfielder, someone who likes the big occasion, someone with the points to prove, and she pulls that off for North in a big way, and they go again here.
De Cosmo to Barber inside the 50. Reynolds is there. DeJock is there as well. It does spill out, but that's going to stay in there. We've got 1.5 minutes left of action in this opening term. And, well, the 10 minutes could not be juxtaposed anymore. Kick out by Reynolds. Floats through for a behind. And North Melbourne, well, this is the experience we thought that they would start to exude, because they're just starting to figure things out. With a lot of new faces comes some teething issues at times, and the first 10 minutes kind of looked like that, but the Bulldogs, I think they're going to slow things down. They can see where the clock sits. Under a minute to go. Tamsin Crook. And I think the Bulldogs will be feeling pretty crook after the first 10 minutes of this quarter. Punched away by Hardingham. Can they quickly get it up the other end and maybe get some respite? It's going to go over to Tab, who overran the ball, spent it before she had it, but the second up effort was really good. Kicks inside the 50. And that is a brilliant intercept there from Ling, who kicked the goal before. Doing it at all ends of the ground. 13 seconds left, and North Melbourne. That'll do it. The Kangaroos, sensational finish to the quarter. They conceded the first 4 scores of the game, but the last 5 went to North Melbourne. They lead at 3-2-20 to the Bulldogs. No goals, 4 behinds, 4. North Melbourne, none for the Dogs as of yet, but they'll hope that they can get the change. Just the question is what Brett Gawley has said to North Melbourne and what Reece Kahir has said to the Western Bulldogs. We saw the Dogs coaching staff going back up to their box, said just a few minor corrections, but we'll be good. Kick up and under from Guy. To Jock with a couple of really good efforts in that opening term. She'll earn the free kick. What's she going to do now, this excitement machine? Nycote to Jock. Inside the 50. That is a massive roost. Long towards goal, and the mark taken. Anything she does, turning to gold. And Emily Paterno takes a brilliant mark. Read the drop zone beautifully. And North Melbourne with an opportunity for a 4th in a row here. Emily Paterno. Just gone underneath the ball. Tajuk is there. And almost holding the ball. Not there. The handball comes. Tajuk again. Dropped it, but ended up getting up with it. And that'll be a goal. Paterno, well, Tajuk to Paterno. We got a little bit of deja vu. It was a lot closer in this time, but the goal does come for the number 21 for North Melbourne in game 46. They do get their 4th. And Nycote Tajuk just providing that excitement and that X factor once again.
Absolutely, and you see 2 defenders go up to mark her, go up to try and take her out of the contest and try to see her off, but she continues to persist, and she sets up players in behind her, sets up her forwards around her as well, so she has a very selfless nature to her game too. And Paterno, you can't allow her to have that level of space. You need, as a defensive unit, to have one drop back and be able to not get caught ball watching. And I think that's what happened there. Paterno read that to perfection, and someone as dynamic as that, you can't give her that level of space because she will hurt you.
Certainly not. And the Bulldogs now, they've got their work cut out for them. Skinner with a Dustin Martin, don't argue, and then had nowhere to go, and that was brilliantly done by Solitis. One out with Ling, and Solitis just overcooked the kick. And a little shrug of the shoulders there from Georgia Livingston. I thought that bounced in, but umpire has paid out on the full. I'm not sure that was the right call, but I thought it bounced on the line, but might have been over, and that's been touched. So nice work on the mark there from Livingston. The ball does come out. Skinner trying to get through. Was she dumped too high? Sorry, it was Hardingham, I should say. Sarah King, she's a massive frame, and if she brings you down to the ground, it's going to hurt.
Absolutely, and she has the kick behind it there, but North have the numbers at the back. Again, just Amanda Ling, just take the time to go back and take a few steps and just give yourself enough space off the mark there. A bit fortunate on the call, I think we know, but it's going to be the same outcome. We'll go back to essentially once where it came. Bulldogs need something here. Carbone lurking around the stoppage. I need to find her.
North Melbourne getting out. That's a nice bump coming from the Bulldogs, and that was Ashley Snow there laying that bump. The ball goes down, and bursting through was Maya. Tajuk running over the top of it. She just forays it forward and makes sure that it gets as far as she possibly can. Maya's going to run onto it. Needs the pickup to be clean. She does fall over, but it's okay. Tierney's there. She'll get it over the top. Back to Paterno, who goes towards goal, and it's going to be cut off. And it'll be balled in. Touch the behind post. Geez, they are moving the ball quickly.
That's absolutely correct. They're on point. They have their tails up and they know it. Dujuk again providing that focal point, almost like a target in soccer, just holding up the ball, allowing her wingers, her flankers, her pockets just to get forward and to allow him an option there. Tierney, of course, being the linker, Paterno being doing her part, I should say, getting on the outside and manufacturing a chance there.
Well, nobody went up in the ruck there. What's happened here? Umpire's blown the whistle. Are you going to get it coming back here, or?
We'll have to go again with the throw.
Yeah. It only went as far as Madeline de Cosmo, and I think we are going to get it again because that landed well inside. I think a bit of breeze caught the ball. We'll come down. Dujuk got it down. Bishop gets it out for the Bulldogs and just goes over the top of everybody. Hales will run onto it. The kick forward, not great from North Melbourne, but doing well is Guy to Barber. Inside the 50, Dujuk can't take the mark. Spills out, Tierney got it out. Here's Dujuk again, she might run onto it. And it's trapped underneath her. So North Melbourne again just inflicting a lot of pain on the Western Bulldogs.
It's the recruits doing a lot of the damage, isn't it? Barber, De Cosmo, Dujuk, they're really working together. Here now it's going to be another inside 50 for North.
McSweeney got it forward over the head of Dujuk. And a double tackle there. Has it been paid holding the ball? It has. So it's going to be a free kick to Talia Meyer, who should go back and kick this goal. Brilliant tackling from North Melbourne. It's Tierney and Meyer, but this for yet another one for their 5th. And on her club debut as well against her old side. Talia Meyer kicks their 5th, and North Melbourne, well, they've already doubled their score from the last time they met the Western Bulldogs in round 3 last year. They only kicked 2 goals 3 that day. The Dogs 8-6-54. But they are forging ahead, and this is becoming some sort of an afternoon for North Melbourne 7 minutes into the second quarter.
Punishing for performance here from North. Ever since they got into this game, they've got the momentum and they haven't ceased control of that. They haven't let go. Talia Meyer, that kick never looked in doubt. It looked so good off the boot, and it just did the rest, just sailing through. A quality performer in her own right, as we know, Talia, and she makes it count on the scoreboard.
29 tackles to 19. That's the ferocity there for North Melbourne. Comes over the top, and now the Bulldogs, can they get the instant reply? No, they can't. And it's gone out on the full. Blazing away there was Renee Solitis, the former Saint. Came back halfway through last year after a year off with an ACL injury. She would have loved to have gotten that, had a bit more time. But the intercept mark does come. Jamie Tabb. She's going to go long, I reckon, to the teeth of goal here. High. Is it going to bounce through? No. I think an umpire might have seen something, and they did so. Even the behinds they can't quite get at the moment. The Bulldogs, free kick will come.
Just that execution is lacking there. I don't think it's a question of work rate. I think it's just a matter of like decision making, and certain execution at key points has let them down. But North will need a chance to reassess here. They go back down the pocket.
Ugal, well, she's in trouble here. She ran a fair while. Umpire gave her the benefit of the doubt. Ball up. Skinner tried to barge her way through this time. Oh, it's in the back. Bit of a sloppy tackle there from Jennifer Guy. Skinner. Short little kick inside the 50, playing on the Dogs as they go towards goal. It's going to go over the back of everybody. Bursting through to perfection, Solitis. And the goal does come. They're on the board. And Renee Solitis provides the goods.
Absolutely, her 5th touch of the afternoon, and she makes it count. Absolutely, she's been persistent. She's been, one of the Dogs' better performers this afternoon. Just has kept presenting, making up for lost time, returning back to top level footy, top flight footy, and she's kicks a badly needed goal for the Dogs. They needed to arrest that momentum that North had generated. Narrows the margin. A lot of work still ahead for them, but that's an absolute start. Good work by Renee Solitis there.
28 points was the margin. Back down to 22. They finally get that goal back that they so well deserved in that opening term. And the kick forward from Klingbeil. Bursting through. Here's Henry trying to barge her way through the pack. Comes over the top. Klingbeil again in amidst the action. Skinner, high up and under kick. It's going to go out on the full. So another opportunity goes begging. The inside 50 count, Katie, I think would be pretty even at this stage.
Dead level, 13 apiece now, but at one time the Dogs led that count 10-2. North, of course, took over the proceedings there, but this is an increment, they built up here, the Dogs. This has been their best spell of play probably since that opening 5 or so minutes in the first quarter, and they got a bit of a mountain still ahead to them, but this is good work here by the Dogs.
Well, look at that. 5 scores from 13 entries for the Bulldogs, 7 for North Melbourne. So North Melbourne are certainly more efficient when they go inside. Skinner has been really prolific so far today, and sometimes you just have to take those. And Talia Pulcino, she'd be disappointed with that. Thudded over by the rucks, and Brooke Sheridan wearing the helmet. The kick came out and just socked forward, but the Bulldogs do well. Ashak inside the 50. Nice mark there in the drop zone from Cowan. She did really nicely there.
Good overlap here, good option presenting, but didn't quite get full hold of that.
Hales did really well. Hosking's going to have to go. Tab went back with the flight and did so well, but then got tackled. She got it out, though, and did beautifully. Rhodes gets the handball away, and North Melbourne can run forward. They kick it inside the 50. The race is on. Doing nicely there was Tierney, and she got pile-driven into the ground. At the bottom of it there was Caitlin Pickett. Came out to Carbone. And the kick forward. Just dropping the mark there, Henry. Hales at the bottom of it all. Too high. She'll get the free kick.
Put her head over it there, didn't she, Nicole Hales, and gets the free kick as a result there. Spot on. Brave performance there. Caitlin Pickett as well. That's a big play there to stop someone like Renee Tierney. She had to be on point with the tackle. Otherwise, that could have ended up in a near certain goal, and she makes it count with a big play.
Well, she had to, because they've just started to wrestle back a little bit of this momentum. McSweeney's going to try and run onto this if the ball doesn't beat her to the line, and it does. So, under 7 minutes to go in this second quarter. North do get the ball because nobody touched it. Pressure affecting the kick. Here's Barber, who can keep running. Barber inside the 50. She could have probably kept going a little bit more. And the Bulldogs through Crook can rebound. Ugle. Up the line. Goes over everybody's heads. Klingbeil run down. Magnificent tackle from Sarah Hosking. And the kick wasn't great for Rhodes, who did really well. Got the ball back. Ashak doing really nicely to go back and take that mark. Freya Taylor on the outer side. So the traffic from Geelong Road onto Gordon Street can sit and watch a little bit of this action. They're not going anywhere at the moment, and nor is the ball. So the Dogs have just stemmed the flow, but you think they might need to get another one very quickly, Katie.
At least before the half is over, you'd have to think. Just a bit of seesawing football at the moment, but a lot of footy played between the arcs. Both of these sides just looking to exploit the counter, find the space on the back end, but seems to have reached an absolute stalemate here. A bit of an arm wrestle, so it has to be said.
Pickett got it out. Reynolds inside the 50, and that is a mark taken again by Pickett. So she's going to run, but the umpire says, oh, no. Get back on your mark. I like the intent, though, from the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. They've looked to get out of defence quick. They look to a bit more patient here, but again, I don't think they can fool around with it a little bit here. They just need to get the ball moving, need to play to the situation a little bit. It might look ugly at certain times, but this is a good connection down the wing now. They got some space.
They certainly do. Now they can run it inside the 50. Pulcino got the handball away. It's going to come out here. Solitis, can she kick their second? And her second, yes she can. Coast to coast. And there's a bit of life in the Dog yet.
Brilliant bit of play there from the Dogs. Just they knew that they had to get the ball moving. They switched play, and they progressively just got it down to their end, and Solitis did the rest from close range there. Spot on. This has been the consistent patch of play. I think has to be said. Just that consistency of their output, and now it's paying off for them. I said they needed a goal before the half was over, and they've done exactly that. All to play for here, and it's shaping up really, really well, Val.
On club debut, only in her 10th VFLW game. This is a brilliant start to her career as a Bulldog, Renee Solitis. Running out of the middle is Rhodes for North Melbourne. Over the head of DeJock. Meyer got the handball away. The kick is high, inside the 50. Almost taking the mark there was Reynolds. And the Dogs will just make it somebody else's problem. Running onto it very nicely was Solitis, who's having some sort of an afternoon. And now they can go. Livingston. The kick. It's a good one. Skinner. She's got an option inside 50. It's Pulcino. Ling is there. Pulcino got the spoil. Ling kept her feet. Did nicely. She'll handball the ball over the top. And North Melbourne through Cowan can get it outside, and no touch. So the Dogs, they'll get to push this ball back. And they're moving the ball really quickly now, the Western Bulldogs. They've got 2.5 minutes to try and get another one if they can. Tab inside the 50. And that is a brilliant grab at the back. And again, Renee Solitis, Talia Pulcino, The kick is good. And the mark was good, but geez, she went down hard there. Did Marley McLeod. What a grab it was from Talia Pulcino. And then set her teammate up with a better option at goal here. And this for their third in a row, and to trim the margin back to 10 when they were down by 28. Marley McLeod. The crowd tells the story. The Dogs are back in the hunt. It's 10 points.
Made no mistake at there. Marley McLeod, brilliant effort to mark that ball. Took a very, very hard landing as a result as well. Put herself right in the hot spot, right where you want to be manufacturing your chances. And Pulcino did the absolute spot-on team thing there and hit up a player who was in that space. Brilliant. Amanda Ling just caught a little bit ahead of play there, and again, Pulcino just has that. I think she started off really, really well. She's gone back into this contest along with Solitis, and Pulcino read the play just a little bit better, I think. Came off for her, and that sets up a massive, massive goal again for the Dogs as we near the halftime break.
Less than a minute to go in the second quarter. And an opportunity for both teams as we're in the middle of the ground, but if the Bulldogs can avoid coughing up a goal, This will be a huge quarter for them. Now, North Melbourne through Meyer. They can have a late entry inside the 50 here. They will get it inside. Only just, though, because it's going out the other way. Crook got it out. That could be. Yes, it is. No, I thought it might have been a 50. Not given. They got 19 seconds to try and manufacture something. Livingston goes long. Just going through Skinner's hands. The handball will come, and now they can go towards goal. They might just get there. It's going to bounce, and it's gone all the way through. Ellie Bishop, right on the halftime siren. They've kicked the last 4. And the Western Bulldogs, after being down by 28, about to get underway at Whitten Oval. 5-2-32 North Melbourne, Western Bulldogs 4-4-28. Katie will bring you some of the around the grounds very, very shortly here, because there's a lot of other games going on at the moment. And the Bulldogs continuing where they left off with yet another clearance. The long kick towards Pulsino. And she wraps it up. It was a lot of her efforts late in that first half that did the job. Katie, what have we got around the grounds here for Rebel VFLW action?
Couple of big results to start us off here in round 1 of Rebel VFLW. Carlton in an authoritative win over Geelong, winning by 31 points, 59-28. And Port Melbourne, the reigning defending premier, seeing off Essendon 54-7, a 47-point win at the hangar earlier this morning. Of course, later to come, Darebin and Williamstown at Bundoora, so that kicks off at 5 o'clock. But all eyes on this one now here, Val.
Amanda Ling got it out. It was another long kick inside from Bishop, and I thought we might be having some deja vu after what we had at the end of the opening half. It's a nice grab there. And North through De Cosmo, who was a bit quieter in that second quarter. She goes forward. Dejuk, look how quick she is. She's a highlight machine. She gets through. Will she get the handball out? She goes to herself. Dejuk! And North start the second half in blistering fashion. Nyakot Dejuk. What an excitement machine she is, and what an introduction into this North Melbourne outfit. How good was that, Katie?
When they need something to create something, when they need to find an opening, it's inevitably Nyakot Dejuk on the end of that for North. Unreal. She has been the focal point, and she makes something happen, and she does that again. Bulldogs threw the challenge down to North, and the North have now responded in a big way in the opening moment of this half. That transitional play once again just so crucial in this game. I think both sides really at the contest it's quite even, but it's all the deciding factor seems to be just that transitional, that counter play, and North just made that happen. What can they find here?
So the Dogs got it back to 4, out to 10, and that's a brilliant tackle from Kate Reynolds, who's been an imposing figure in the ruck today for the Kangaroos. Aimed for Dejuk. Meyer tried to get it out. Dejuk held without it, but it's okay. Courtney Ugle for the Bulldogs inserted herself into the game quite well, but Brooke Sheridan intercepts. Laser of a pass. And Matilda Zander kicked a goal earlier on. Goes back to Sheridan. Long kick inside the 50. She's going to hope that it bounces. And you bet it has. Brooke Sheridan. And North Melbourne have gone bang, bang to start the second half. Margin back out to 16. And all that good work that the Bulldogs did at the end of the first half, well, it's come unstuck a little. And 2 brilliant individual efforts from Nyakot Dejuk and Brooke Sheridan have got North Melbourne out to a bit of a buffer again. Beginners,
you mean, go on here. This game is not finding a way to settle down at all. Just ridiculously end-to-end, open twists and turns everywhere you look. An entertaining spectacle if there ever was in this opening round. Brilliant stuff here from North, finding a way to respond, finding a way to get the game back on their terms. And they wasted little time in doing so. Quick fire goals, opening 4 minutes here.
Well, the experience really showing through. Brooke Sheridan coming from Brisbane, an off-season signing former Lions AFLW listed player. University of Queensland products. Trying to ply her trade down in what is considered a national home of footy here in Victoria. And this is one of the spiritual grounds from what the leagues that we so love, and that's in the back, has to be. Talia Meyer. North can get another foray forward here. Meyer towards the pocket, goes over everybody's head. But now running onto it here will be Flanagan. She does overrun it, and that's a high tackle. That was sloppy there from Renee Tierney. Had to be a little bit cleaner than that. But Tierney does really well.
Insane closing speed from her, isn't it? She made that gap close right quick and impacts the play. Just that decision making just needed to go a little bit further up the park then, just to try, either create another stoppage or try to get something going. But need to be careful with the way they're exiting the back 50 here, the Dogs.
Yeah, the defensive running has been good, and that kick towards goal almost comes off. Dejuk, can she get the kick away? Just came off the side of the boot. Almost another one for the 21-year-old, who looks as though she's got a very strong career in front of her. She's only in game 26. Nakut Dejuk.
Wasted little time, has she? She's the way she's taken onto this league like a duck to water. Has wasted little time and going from strength to strength, and so much improvement still ahead of her. What a fantastic prospect, even at AFLW level, surely in coming seasons as well.
Klingbeil did well, and then Jamie Henry took a nice mark. The Dogs push it forward, and it's going to come out to Skinner, who just misread the bounce of the ball. She gets it out back to Klingbeil, who overran it. She's taken out of it. Dom Carbone, the captain. What can the captain do? Can she conjure something inspirational? And Brooke Sheridan, if she's not kicking goals, she's taking intercept marks down back and setting things up. Xander. Kick towards Dejuk, who just did well. Protected her body. Tried to soccer it forward and then laid the tackle nicely. So ended up getting it forward. There'll be a ball up. Nearly 7 minutes gone in these 20-minute quarters. Rebel VFLW action. So good to have footy back across all the state leagues. So many players looking for their opportunities at higher levels as well. Handball coming out there from Livingston. And it's not going anywhere.
Continues to be quite level at the contest, and particularly around the stoppages. North just maintaining just a slight edge, 17-16, but neither side really getting a grip on that. But it's a matter of who gets the ball on the outside, and North Bulldogs through Salatis go forward here.
And that mark has been taken by Skinner, who's been pretty prolific today. Draws the opponent. Ugle now goes towards goal. Can they get something? Falls to the pack. Paulsino couldn't get the kick away, but it was her teammate that did. And the Dogs, I think it was Klingbeil, who kicked it out of the pack. And they get that goal back. A much needed one at that as well. Millie Klingbeil.
One of the recruits, obviously, from Carlton coming across from Carlton this season. Millie Klingbeil hasn't had the impact we normally saw her have for Carlton, but she makes a big contribution there. Need to get up and about here. The Dogs need to fire up and find another gear. A little bit flat after scoring that. They need to generate something.
Klingbeil was in the Rebel Team of the Year last year, the 25-year-old. And gets her first of the day. The former Blue back to 11 points, and just when you think one team might have the momentum, the other one strikes a huge blow. It's been such an entertaining game.
Sarah Skinner, as you mentioned earlier, Val, just really prolific today. 14 touches, a leading touch getter on the ground. 3 tackles and 2 clearances to that, so she's just and also most of those disposals are kicks as well, with 10 of them being kicks, I should mention. So really being a driving force for the Dogs this afternoon.
She's covering a lot of ground, isn't she? DeJork doing so well there to get it out. North just cleaning up themselves at the moment, trying to barge the ball forward. It's ferocious in there and holding the ball. It'll be the Bulldogs' free kick. And the crowd are going to start to get into it as well. You can't forget that. So it's Ashak. Oh, Marley McLeod had to do a bit better there. She did okay in the end. Oh, the kick might come unstuck. It did get touched before it went to the line, so Livingston did well.
Both sides ringing the changes, and it'll be... No, will be a throw-in. I think we've had that confirmed. Got to get the game moving here, surely. Got to make the call and just get...
Yeah, it was clearly touched.
Yeah, 100%. So just make the call, and of course umpiring. It's a tough
gig. It is.
I appreciate everyone who does it, but the game has to get a grip there. And it might have been a bit of fortune, a low kick there. All
right, so 11 points, 18 degrees. It's not too cold. It's a good day for footy. A little bit of a breeze, but as the wind does just pick up as I say that. Holding the ball. So great tackling there from Carbone, the captain, the fearless leader.
Good
Amanda Ling doing really nicely to get in there. Barber doing well as well. But the Bulldogs cutting things through, holding the man against Skinner, who's been really good. But Cowan did well to insert herself on that contest. It goes over everybody. And it's going to be wrapped up once again. Over halfway through this third term. And North Melbourne 2-1 in this third stanza so far. Really nicely done by De Cosmo. That kick inside 50. It's going to bounce it every which way. Bursting through, trying to get the ball was Tierney. Pickett driven into the ground. Tierney, just her work rate today has been sensational. Just laying a couple of real pile-driving tackles. It's her third of the game.
That forward pressure of North has really done them wonders. Has been a real key factor as to why they've got into this lead in the first place, and she's been at the forefront of that. More pressure to come here from North.
The kick forward from Guy, and then it came to Maya, who put it through. She kicks her second and becomes North's first multiple goal kicker of the day. Against her old side, she's proven to be a thorn, in the Bulldogs. And they look a little bit dejected down there. The margin back out to 17. By no means is it over. And I feel like the left of screen has been somewhat of a scoring end today. But the Bulldogs, all the work they did at the end of the second quarter, they don't want the damage to be too much, Katie Lambeski, but Talia Meyer has been really good against her old team.
Has stood up, hasn't she? She's been a leading touch getter now as a result of that. Her 13th touch of the afternoon, and really, really making it count. Just has looked to get the ball forward, just that positive attacking intent, just setting her decision-making as well, I think has been key, and just that, I think that's been the real difference between these two sides, and Bulldogs have to find a response here. It's a good mark.
They certainly do. That is sensational. And Jamie Henry will go back and try and get the instant reply. It was brilliantly done from Keely Hardingham, just imposing herself on the contest. But Jamie Henry, this is a huge kick. She just got underneath it. Who's down there? Well, Trisha Cowan is down there for North, and they can move it on here. Hosking. As the Duke Long, look how quick she is, Hosking. Does well. Can Dejuk get there? No touch, so it'll be a Dogs ball.
Had the right intent, though.
Yeah.
Tried to switch defence into attack and look to hit up Juk as quick as possible.
Juk did so well there. Called to play on. And she got the tap as well. And too high. That is a wonderful individual effort from Nykote Juk. Maya off to De Cosmo inside the 50. And it's going to be a one-on-one here. Running for it for North was Reynolds. Goes through everybody. And who's the free kick going to go to? It's going to go to the Dogs. So they breathe a sigh of relief. And the kick out now, Snow.
Needs some leads, needs some movement forward of the ball here.
North just first to it every time. Guy got an up and under kick. No 15, so De Cosmo inside the 50. Almost juggling the mark down there. Have they paid it? Yep, they have. I thought it might have touched the ground. But this has been a brilliant quarter. And Emily Paterno kicked a goal earlier. Go back and try and get her second. And get the margin out to 23 points. It was 28 earlier. Dogs got it back to 4. And just drifting across the face of goal. So Paterno puts the margin to an even 3 goals. 8-4-52 to 5-4-34. And the Bulldogs need to try and bring some speed. And that is great forward pressure there from North Melbourne, who continue to probe. That was Felicity Theodore down there who got the smother. They've manned the mark so well. And a high infringement there will go to Amanda Ling on the outer side for the Kangaroos.
Forward pressure proving crucial for North here. That's the 30th inside 50 of the afternoon compared to the Dogs 24, and just converting just a little bit better whenever they've had it. And they'll look to go again here.
De Cosmo. Guy. Back to De Cosmo. It comes out. McSweeney. Back to Guy. High. Up and under. Goal! Damage inflicted at the highest order. And Jennifer Guy was at the forefront of all of it. Brilliantly done by the number 8. Another one of those Collingwood expats. Played in the grand final last year against Port Melbourne. And boy, are they endearing themselves to their new colours, Katie Lambeski.
Wasted little time in doing that, absolutely. Just that big game experience, that VFLW experience is really proving to be too much for the Dogs to handle. I think here now, it's just that they have more contributors. I think at key moments they've looked and to persist whenever they've been against it, whenever form or momentum has gone against them, they just find a way to stay back and to find a way back into it, and they've roared back in this third quarter. It's probably been the most consistent that it's been under one team's control, I think you'd have to say. North just making that gap now.
Certainly are. All that work the Dogs did late in the second quarter, well, it's been undone. Margin out to 24, 2.5 minutes to go in this third term. Spilling through. Dejuk couldn't keep a hold on it. Snow got the handball out. Livingston goes to Carbone. And the short little kick. Almost, well, it went to herself. She socketed it along the ground. Solitis tried to foray it forward. Ling goes through to Guy, who kicked that most recent goal. Theodore taps it along for North Melbourne. And now they can go. Flanagan got a small kick forward. Dejuk is there. Really clever. Tried to paddle it along to herself and did brilliantly once again, as she has done all day. The long kick inside the 50. It's going to bounce. Will it get all the way? Will it get all the way? No. I got a little bit overzealous there. And did that get a touch after coming off the foot there against Ugle? She touched it herself, so no dramas there. It'll be a ball in. Geez, I thought that was bouncing towards goal then. It just took that little deviation at the end.
That angle and that swirling breeze proving to be an absolute annoyance for us here as commentators, but that's okay. North on their right in their territory here. They look to continue to press the momentum. A bit of space here for the Dogs to move.
Just not going the right way there, Boozeville.
Outnumbered.
Yeah.
Outnumbered here at the contest. Not good at all.
The kick inside 50. It outdoes Maya, but she'll get it back. She'll go over the top. Hosking goes towards the square. It's going to go through everybody here. Tachouki's there. And she just paddles it around to herself. Somehow ends up with it. Spills out. And that'll be rushed through by Boozeville. So, minus score for North Melbourne, who extend the margin to 25 points. Almost at a game high, which was 28 early on in the second. North kicked the opening 5 goals of the game. The Dogs kicked the next 4. It was only 4 points at half-time. And that's going to come down to Skinner, whose effect on this game has been negated. Doesn't have too much on. So many players ahead of her. Goes backwards. 3 seconds to go. So that'll be it for the third term. And a brilliant quarter from the North Melbourne Football Club. They were absolutely sensational. They ended up kicking 4 goals. Get revenge for the last time they met. And it's a holding free kick. Jennifer Guy. Long towards the attacking 50. Over everybody's head. Does spill out the back. Diving on top of it though. Hardingham, she could be in trouble here. Umpire says no. Punch forward. Carbone has tried to will her team over the line, and doing really nicely there was Solitis, just nudging Ling out the way. They have a number forward. Skinner doesn't see it and takes just that little bit too long. And now she's just going to have to go long to a really good spot. It does spill the ground, but Ling does beautifully and just clears it. Carbone does well to corral the ball, but just couldn't pick it up. Tries to go in herself. And a wasted opportunity for the Bulldogs there. Skinner just took that little bit too long. Had 2 numbers inside 50 in pretty free space. Tap came from Reynolds, and DeCosmo doing beautifully, getting it to Guy, and it goes over the heads of everybody. Trying to punch it forward there was Tierney. Crook got it forward. And it's a free kick. It'll go to North Melbourne.
Quick start, Maddie DeCosmo with her 5th clearance of the afternoon, and that shows. It shows just her level of reading the play, just at the stoppages, at the contest. She's always head and shoulders. I think she's been absolutely fantastic and a driving force for North this afternoon.
Just trying to slow this down a little bit, North Melbourne, which I don't mind, considering they've got a big lead. Just count down the clock as much as you can when you've got a 25-point buffer. Under 18 minutes to go now. The Bulldogs need to try and get things moving. They kicked 4 quick goals late in the second term to get the margin back. But since then, North have gone up another gear. And the experience that they've brought in, well, it's paying off. They want to make the finals. They were a game off 5th position last year. 7-7. Won 3 of their last 4 games of the year. Jennifer Guy kicks it forward. The bounce goes towards Tab, who hacks it forward. Ling couldn't do much with it. And the kick inside the 50. Now it comes for the Bulldogs. Will it go through? And Imogen Milford registers the behind. Hasn't played since the middle of last year. The former Blue.
Makes it even 4 kicks now.
A goal would have been really beneficial there. Probably had a bit more time, but handy point in a way. And Pickett takes a really nice mark and kept playing on. Goes towards the teeth of goal. Talk about a handy point now.
4 kicks now, the equation but just near enough at each time, but not quite there for the Dogs. Of course, they had their moment toward the end of that second quarter, but just that level of control and that level of game management I think we're seeing from North. It's on a pace that I think that they would like it to be, that they're just sort of absorbing, playing the clock, playing the conditions. Again, that comes down to a lot of experience and being able to respond and being in different situations. Linking up well here through the clearance, through chain of handballs.
Well, this has been the scoring end. To the left of screen as the tackle came. And at the bottom of it there was Xander. But yeah, this has certainly been the scoring end this afternoon. Saw 4 goals kicked to 0 in the opening term. 4 goals to 1 in the second. And 4 goals to 1 in the third. So just 2 goals kicked to the right of screen as Ling got it out and did really nicely. Dejuk is there and she takes a really strong grab. And she's not happy. She was not happy with Tamsin Crook at all.
She's had her for company most of the day, and I think she's had her measure. It's been quite the contest, but Dejuk just being too much to handle there and just got in front, right? Just played the percentages, like just got herself and did the work in front, and that's very hard to defend against.
Yeah.
A little bit worse for where I think she's pulling up just on her finger there, but she looks to be okay. Just positioning herself behind the ball, just the way she's reading that as well. When Bulldogs try to get a quick kick away, she'll be able to close the speed there and pull across. Ugle doing well there, good decision making, good link up here from the Dogs.
And now they can move it forward through Mailer. It didn't come out, or maybe it did. Here, Solitis trying to bring it forward. And did okay, but the co-captain for North Melbourne, Jess Jones, is the one that wraps it up with her. Hardingham and Reynolds go at it again. King go at it again. And now Audrey Rhodes just blazed away at the kick and the Dogs can mop it up. Solitis towards attacking 50. It beats everybody, so North will get the kick. Nope. I think it might have come off a hand.
And just breaking down the Dogs just a little bit here. North just not really allowing them the space that they need to break clear and hit the scoreboard. Need to find a way through the middle here, and the Dogs might find something.
Bursting through. Came off the foot there of McLeod. Just didn't allow her to control it, but they'll get a stoppage inside 50 here. If they can get a goal now, with 13 minutes to go in this final term, it'll make things extremely interesting. But the kick will come out, and McSweeney doing really well. But, they've paid the mark there. It was a very late decision for Tamsin Crook.
Did just enough, though, didn't she, to hold it, I think, there.
Oh, and that is a coach killer. Georgia Livingston had to take that mark.
Numbers here with North as well. This can hurt. Oof.
And run down Naiko Dejuk. And that, after a coach killer, that's a tackle that will make a coach applaud. Caitlin Pickett running down the excitement machine. Called to play on, the long kick, and cut off. Again, North Melbourne defending grimly. Cowan finds McSweeney. Kick up the wing. Dejuk came for it, but Courtney Ugle takes the mark. The Dogs need to start moving the ball a bit quicker. These lateral kicks can hurt them a little bit. It'll allow North to continue to push back. Livingston finds Bishop, who kicked a really nice goal in the second term. And Klingbeil there just sort of rebounded off her knee. into a mini falcon of sorts and goes out of play. So another stoppage. North Melbourne, you feel as though another couple of minutes without a Bulldogs goal and they might just be able to seal things up.
Just doing real well to just work behind their jab, so to speak, like a boxer, just knowing that they're well ahead on the score sheets. They're just really keeping the Dogs at bay here. It's, again, just no space for the Dogs to break out of here. Just well structured, well set up. Again, the Dogs just looking to put their head over the ball, but not quite working out for them to get clear here.
Klingbeil did really well to keep it in, and another stoppage inside the Bulldogs forward 50. The water is really building up in this dam, but can they break a couple of bricks in this dam wall? Another stoppage. North defending grimly. Margin at 23 points. A goal for the Bulldogs opens things up in massive fashion. The handball comes. Solitis, surely not from there. Another behind. 2 goals, 1 for Renee Solitis. The margin at 22 points. The biggest of the game was 28. That was in the second term. Inside the 50 still for the Bulldogs. They just keep it in there. Their goals in the second quarter pretty much came all within that last 10 minutes, which is where we sit now. We're in the final 10 minutes of this game. And that's high on Audrey Rhodes, so North Melbourne will get the rebound. Their defensive strategy has been exemplary today, and their pressure around the contest has been magnificent. They want to keep it towards the boundary line if they can. It comes towards Livingston. And Carbone decked. No free kick. Sometimes they do pay those late tackles after it goes over the line, but nothing coming of it. But just goes to show, sorry, Katie, the ferocity of North.
Absolutely. Just the pressure around the contest is superb. They're just not allowing any space, any inch. Kind of thinking maybe the umpires would look to pull out a free kick there to prevent that sort of repeat stoppage, but no can do. North just doing exceptionally well here. It's tight, it's congested, and the Dogs just can't find a way through.
And that's out of play again. North just getting numbers around the ball. They're just defending beautifully here and just making the Dogs go out of play and giving them no room to move and to barge their way through. Margin 22 points. 8 minutes to go in this game, or 8 minutes and 10 to be exact. Rhodes, high up and under. There's nobody out there now. Ugle will be first to it for the Bulldogs. Needs to pick it up. Came off her foot and she'll run towards the wing. Doing well there was Flanagan. And a push in the back. Just coming in late there was Sarah Skinner. And that hurts. Meyer. It's slapped away. And now the Dogs, can they make their move? Ended up working for Skinner. Bounced at a right angle. Broke a couple of ankles there, getting her way through. Did really nicely. And who's that mark being paid to? That'll be Brooke Sheridan, who kicked a lovely goal from that spot in the third term, and she's pulling up quite sore here. Hope she's okay.
Lower leg there, maybe a bit of cramp playing up there.
Could be, first game of the season. You can train all you want, but when you get to the match intensity, it's very hard.
It's a different level, isn't it? It's a different kettle of fish, that's for sure. You do all the hard work, but there's nothing more better than being match hardened and battle hardened. And there's Jashuk here putting her head over the ball and just looking to play a focal point. And I think she'll get a free kick as a result as well. Being first to the ball, the Dogs players don't like that, but it's not going to matter.
Yep, Freya Taylor She just was a little overzealous. Probably could have been holding the ball as well, just how the umpire saw it, and Dejuk with a nice kick there. This possession game, really good. McSweeney finds a teammate. And North will go inside 50. One goal would do it for the Kangaroos. Or just milking this clock down. McLeod arches the back. Goes with a lateral pass. And now the kick forward from Snow. Not coming off well for the Dogs. Hales. Kick wasn't good. The Dogs did nicely. Carbone, she's going to get wrapped up. That'll be gone. It is. And North Melbourne's ferocity around the contest again proving fruitful. Again, just fighting grimly, the Bulldogs. This could be in trouble. Well, she could be in trouble here. Diving on the ball. Yep, gone. She did everything there, Courtney Ugle. And the short kick comes to Talia Meyer, who can put the nail in the coffin, if it wasn't already in anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Talia Meyer has the opportunity now to cap off an outstanding performance from her today. She'll come in for her 16th touch of the afternoon.
If she kicks it, it'll be her third goal against her former team on club debut. That's going to drop short. Falls to the bottom of the pack. Sarah King tried to get the kick away. And it is kicked out, hacked out. It's beautifully done. And in the end, it's Emily Paterno who kicks her second. And North Melbourne, they're going to start season 2024 with a victory. The margin, equal highest of the game, 28 points. It was a strong fight back from the Dogs in the second quarter, but since then, it's been all North Melbourne. They have been magnificent. 10-5-65 to 5-7-37. Emily Paterno, she's had a pretty good day herself, Katie Lambeski.
That she has. She's an X-Factor type of player, someone who is a dangerous presence up forward and someone who can break a game apart and has that talent to her name. 8 touches this afternoon, but she's all made them count, I think, in certain ways. It's not so much the impact from the level of touches that your forwards get, it's the level of impact that they can have, and she's made that count today. Caps off a pretty good performance from her as well.
Yeah,
maybe a bit of in the back there.
Yeah.
A bit of fortune going their way.
They've paid a couple of those today, but not on that occasion. Next week, it's North Melbourne and Carlton on Good Friday. As the Bulldogs try and force this forward to give themselves some sort of hope. Good Friday football, as I said, next Friday morning, North Melbourne and Carlton at Arden Street. And then the Bulldogs, they'll take on Casey out at Casey Fields next Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, late morning. Thundered forward. Now the Dogs through Crook can go inside. It's a laser of a pass. Surely had to pay that mark, and they did. And it's going to be Talia Pulsino. Hasn't kicked a goal today. Just the behind earlier on. She's toiled hard.
That she has. She'll come in for her 10th touch, I think, this afternoon. Has done well in patches, I think, much like her teammates, much like the team as a whole. Deserves a goal there. She'll cap off a decent performance for herself. Good kick.
Talia Pulsino puts it through, and the Dogs do get that little bit of respite. And she kicks her first of the day, margin back to 22 points. Now it's all about that respectable scoreboard and trying to get the margin as low as they can. Their first goal of the final term, just their second of the second half.
Percentage may be all important this season, particularly the way last season's kind of panned out and how close that was. I think every game will count this season more so than ever. It's such an open field, so competitive this year. North, though, that resolute defensive performance that they put in, it's taken a lot for the Bulldogs to break that down just for that goal themselves. Amanda Ling, I thought, was fantastic as well. Just a lot of her drive coming out the back end. Nicole Hales hasn't missed a beat. Of course, that's a premiership player for Collingwood back in 2019. So there is quality undoubtedly then. Hales and Ling just outstanding in the way that they've presented defensively this afternoon.
And I'll tell you who's been amazing for North Melbourne, Madeline De Cosmo. Just those little handballs out. She's had 10 handballs, 11 tackles today, 7 clearances out of the middle on club debut. You could not ask for more from a recruit.
Huge.
There's a reason why she was in the Rebel Team of the Year last season. And there's a reason why North Melbourne was so hell-bent on getting her. Under 30 seconds to go in this match. And North Melbourne, they have been brilliant today. And there's Amanda Ling, gets the handball away to Hales. The kick will bounce, but it'll all be inconsequential as a strong showing from North Melbourne in round 1. They were a game off 5th last year. Their percentage wasn't great, but that is a great start to 2024 for the North Melbourne Football Club in the VFLW here. A brilliant win.